And we are back. So today we're here to interview Indica. What names do you go by online, or is that what you want the people to know you by?
No, I have two government names. I have two birth certificates, one social security number.
It's
My
whatever
native,
you're comfortable with. You know.
yeah, nope. My native name is Intica. My American name is Deweba. Whatever helps, whatever's easier.
And where do you come from?
I was born and raised in Boston. Um, I lived in Lenox Projects. That's where I was based out of.
Okay. Um, I guess what's a fun memory that you can say? Actually, what was one of the most stressful things that you've been through in there, like
And where
in those projects or in that, just growing up?
the most stressful thing.
Not even stressful, but when you know how like we see things that kind of stay with
But,
us.
okay. Um, oof, that's deep. I'm gonna say it though. One of the most stressful things, and one of the things that made me realize that I didn't want to get caught up in a lot of shit, is when my father went to jail for murder for rocking with Whitey Bulger. I lost my dad for a lot of years because of that piece of shit. Um, when my father left, that's when bad things happened. And that's always like a vivid memory because my father was very much so a protector. And as soon as he went to jail, it just the family changed. Everything changed.
So, do you mean in the sense of like the day that he left, or like just it just changed after that?
What ended up happening was my two aunts and these two white women, we were living in Lawrence, Massachusetts. My father was on America's Most Wanted. My father always said, "You don't run." He didn't run. He didn't run for that, from anything. And they called America's Most Wanted. I'll never forget. The police were actually nice, which was different because that was, in the 70s, and that's very rare. But I shit you not, they put the handcuffs on him. The next day, I was being molested by my uncle. And that's when shit hit the fan.
Mm. There's something like the swept under the rug with the family type shit.
Yeah, sadly, my mother's side, they're quick to sleep with each other's men and like women. They will be quick to fuck up someone's home. That's why when I was on Bingo talking about fucking up people's home, yo, I've seen it. You don't do that. Um,
Okay, okay.
you asked some good fucking questions. You got me real thinking about some old shit. But yeah, it was.
Hold on, hold on. So let's change it to something else. We get that. That was a rough time. I was asking about certain memories. So,
Yeah.
what's, I guess, the best memory you can remember? You got your bike, you're outside, you meet up your friends from 5 years ago. Like, what was like the best day in those projects that you could think of?
We didn't realize how poor we was, right? And technically, though we lived tough because everyone was trying to get a grounding, our aunts and uncles, we didn't realize what we had as well. Though we were broke and hungry, living in a cockroach infested spot, we owned bars and clubs in Boston. So what they would do is they would close on the bar and they would wake us all up and they'd be like, "Yo, let's go. We're gonna go skating." So what we would do is we were allowed to put our skates on and we would have towels or bathcloths, attached to our skates and help them as we're skating around the bar, technically we're wiping up all the shit on the floor. That shit was fun as hell to me. That was fun. Fun, fun, fun.
Okay.
Good time.
Where were you? I was about to say academically, but I want to say more of like, how was the school experience for you?
School was hard. Very, very hard.
Yeah, because
Uh,
grades academically, that's one thing, but how your experience was is another.
it was hard. It was hard. English is not my first language. Um, one of the first schools we went to was residential school, and people make me sick when they said that's not such a thing. For years, people talked about it, and California still hasn't. Residential school will fucking humble you.
And for the people who don't, who don't know, like residential school is
Is
different from
where
like a
Native
regular.
American is and indigenous. What it is we go to school, but we are in the basement. We don't have class with the rest of the kids of your peers. And what they do is they force feed us Christianity. We would get slapped, our hair would get pulled. And this is why I hated God in that religion for a long time. A nun pushed me down the stairs. I still have the scar. That fucked me up. Those are one of the hardest times I can remember. Lawrence High School in Massachusetts was hard too. It was a lot of whites there, and then when the whites moved out, it was a lot of Latins. But yo, Latins, they were mean back then, so that was an experience as well too. I wasn't used to that.
You had anything that you liked about school, like sports, science, you feel me?
Yeah, I was a nerd, so science and social studies always A's. I would fuck those classes up. I love choir because I play the saxophone and I could sing. Um, Technically, though, I wasn't so focused on school, even though I was good. Everything was survival for me. I was worried about home and making sure my sister and I were safe, and there was home was always chaotic. So, my sadly, like schooling wasn't my big priority.
Right. How was things with the family? Like,
They suck. They suck bad. They suck bad. They suck.
so I have a specific question. Just because
Mhm.
generally, they suck, whatever. You don't got to get into that. What's one thing that a friend or family member told you, whether it's advice or something, um, that like stuck with you? Like that little piece of advice that we heard as a kid that we didn't listen to, but it's like that stick with us now. You feel me? Like what's something that it,
You know what's sad? I
mhm.
don't have one. I was thinking about that maybe a few months ago when I started writing my book. I can't recall one. My mother doesn't talk. She was not brought up like that. It's just she comes from a time where it's just work, 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 and that's all she did. Then my father was even more quiet. The thing is, I was tight with my father. He would speak, but when he went to jail, he was gone. But my mother didn't talk to me. This is why her and I got a lot of problems. Like we have huge problems.
So
She's
are there
never.
any things that you saw that you carried from them? Like how we adapt certain traits that you had to break, or were there certain things that you stayed away from because of what they did immediately? Like what was
Yeah, like
something that you
my
took with you?
my thing is family. Oh God, on both sides, my mother and my father's side, there's fucking skeletons. My father's side is nothing but incest. Fucking you and you, it fucks you up. You know what I'm saying? When your aunt's a pastor, but her daughter, which is my cousin, is married to her first cousin, and you're cool with. I don't understand that. Then you got my mother's side. You don't break up someone's happy home. You got sisters who are sleeping with each other's husbands. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying? I have an uncle you always got to wonder about. He's always looking at you a little funny, always got the young girls around. Like,
Yeah.
so my thing is about breaking the circle because my family, everything is a shush, shush shit and just keep it moving. But
So
no way,
did you ever
no
get
way.
into like any sports at the time, cheerleading, like
Yeah, cheerleading was good, but technically, yo, those Latin girls, they call me a nigga so bad. I was like, fuck that. I was a cheerleader for 3 years. I was good in it too. I quit that, and my love of gymnastics and taekwondo came in. I love gymnastics and taekwondo, and I think that's where I get my workout ethics from. That's always stayed with me.
Okay. Okay. Um, so what did you do after, like after high school, college, travel, you know?
I was supposed to go to college and to be the responsible older sibling. I didn't go to college. I decided that I was going to try to work, and that didn't happen that way. After that, I got heavily involved with Latin kings and Latin queens. That was, yeah.
Something that came because of who you was around at school.
Yeah, you can't help where you live at. So in my building, it was just everybody was that. It just was what it was. And I think where my father always taught me, he was like, yo, you're like me, you got to tread easy. He goes, you get along with the red, the blue, the cheerleaders, the nerds, the thugs. You got to be easy because you're going to it's easy for you to get caught up. My thing about the Latin kings and queens, do I respect a lot of the bad things he done? No, of course not. But when I was hungry, when bad things would happen to me, they were the ones that held me the fuck down. So I can't turn my back on them like that. I would never. You know what I'm saying? They took care of me. After high school, I ran. That's all I did from 15 to 18. I was missing in action. There were missing flyers of me and my cousin. I would just
What what was that? Because I get it that at the time it was rough, but looking back on it now, like what is something that you appreciated about the experience? Not about them per se, but just about what you went through. You know, that molded you, shaped who you are today.
the worth ethics, like I said, they come from a time of like work. Like you that's one thing I can't and like I said, I'm a very gully person, a Bostonian. Your word is your bond. You try to be very honest. The one thing I do give to my mother's side of the family, they work. But the thing is they work so much, they neglected us. And my thing is you can't take your money when you're dead with you. You know what I'm saying? Everything was always based on money, and it stressed a lot of us kids out. Like, you know what I'm saying? We were always worried about being homeless. It just that was stressful. Always about money, being evicted. That was fucking stressful. And that was a promise I wanted to make to myself before I had my kids. I didn't want to take them through that shit.
Mm.
But worth ethics, like a motherfucker, determination, I definitely take that from my mom's side. Definitely. I will never take that away from her.
If there's one thing that, you know, just to that person who did run, that person who was scared, that person who went through all this shit, like if you could tell that person some, that indica, you know, what can you tell her now?
That life gets harder and it's bullshit. I know that sounds fucked up. I fucking hate life. I'm not built for this time. I just I would tell I would tell that indica, your next lifetime is gonna be okay. This one is it's not for you and it's gonna be okay. This is just a borrow out of shell, and we evolve into something else. I don't believe this lifetime is meant for me. My next one will be. But I would tell her just to hold on, and I would be honest. This life sucks and it's not gonna be good for you. Your next life would be good.
And what's your message to your family, kids, without, you know, your circle? You know, not now, but it's like something that, cause you're here now.
Hmm.
Your past is what you can look on and reflect on. It's like if there's something that you could have told your sister, like, yo, I wish I could have told you this one day. Like, just anything you want to let out.
I wish I could have told her for us to never break our bond. Sadly, though, our fucking relationship is fucked up, but it's not because of her and I. It's because of what we went through. So, my mother's always said, when you have one sibling, you're always told that it's just you and your sibling. That's all you have. Stepbrothers and sisters, but fuck them. I have one sibling. All the shit we've been through, we can't even look at each other. I don't, it's up. And as much as I want love from my family, I love them so much. I will never get that back from them. Never. I think my mother, for some odd reason, I think she's jealous of the relationship that me and my father have. That's how I feel when I was younger. It was always, "You're so fat, you're so black." And I was built like Nicki Minaj in high school. I can show you pictures. And now that I look back on it, there was nothing wrong with me. I got a butt reduction at the age of fucking 20. Who does that? I was just always told, like I said, it's just, as much as I love family, they hate me, and you can raise your kids to go to private school, never have to deal with shit. And they'll turn around and still tell you to kiss their ass when they get older. But I love family, and I'm in love with love, if that makes sense.
That's a
I'm in love with it. I want love like heroin. I want someone to love me like a drug. And because my thing is, I'm loyal, I'm honest, I believe in fucking family. And that's just not what it is.
So what I can say is now, are you at like a point where you forgive him? You know,
I got a rage in me. That's why I'm scared to fight. The last fight was pretty bad. There's no, nope, no, I can't. I can't. Imagine being like 21 years old and you're getting your ass kicked by your spouse or your other person, and you find out you're pregnant as you getting pushed down the stairs and go down to the hospital, and you got black and blue eyes. There's holes in your ears because he rips out your earrings, and I'm telling her I'm scared. I don't think I want the baby because I just know if I have him, her, or the baby, it was gonna be a lifetime of hell. It fucking was. I don't regret my kids though. I love them. Technically, my daughter is my strength. She is what caused me to fight back because her father kicked my son is the reason why I live. I had a bad eating disorder. I was being too fed. I was damn near dead. So it's either I ate to save him. So that's what, got me right. But yeah, it's fucked up.
they gonna see this. So what's the message that you got to them individually, to your kids? Because they, like you said, they fought through this shit with you. You wasn't
Yeah.
by yourself.
So my daughter Deja, her American name is Deja, and her Native American name is Mouse. As much as you hate me, I love you. I don't know what happened. I swear it's just like she started spending time with her father and things just got it's fucked up. I would just tell her that I'm not the enemy. I didn't do anything. I was the one that stuck by, everything. I'm not the enemy. To my son, the one thing I would tell him is I always tell him to be good. Don't hurt kids. You don't hurt people. He is very because when we got kidnapped, it threw him off. So he paces the house and he's still on high alert. I go in his room, I check on his bed. He got suitcases, food, like he's ready for it. I want him to learn to love life and relax a little bit just because I was like that. I don't want him to have panic attacks. And, I just want him to be able to enjoy life as a kid and, to, let him know we're not on the run. Like I got him, regardless of what it is at this point. I can't run, but I would never let anything happen to him. Thank you. That was some good questioning about my kids.
Yeah.
They can
So
shit.
what did growing up? So what did you start doing, like work wise? What did you excel in? Like we'll get into what you do and what you're doing now, but
Um, First job I had, it was a paper route, and I was banking like 250 at the age of 13. That was dope. That's when Bradley's, Zares and Caldors and Methuen was the shit. So that was good. I remember getting my first bank account and my first checking. That was dope. My second job I had was at Dunkin' Donuts. My daughter's father killed that job because he was psychotic. Like he would just sit there until I would have to go to work at 3 o'clock in the morning. He would literally sit there all day until I left. And the one job that molded me is I had a summer job, the first summer job, like serious one. I was working in a law office, and I don't never forget being in the room, and I looked. just to see like different names, and I see Roundtree and Twine. My whole rate case, everything was there. That's when I got pissed off. And then that's when I was determined to be a child lawyer. I hate the law so much. I'm in love with it. The law. I love law.
So I guess that's what part of your purpose is to stand up for those people who.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you. You're like one of the only people that realized that my goal is on the reservation. A lot of Native American girls, they don't even make it past rape. They get killed. If I can just save one family, one single mother with two daughters, like my mother did, I can die a happy woman. I'm good. Yep. Always speaking up for the little people.
So what do you do now? Any businesses, like any, 'cause we don't get into how we met all that, but what do you do aside from that?
I am what most people call the sex industry, but I am a dom. Um,
And for those who don't know,
that's submissive, domination type of deal. I get what people think because I used to, being younger, I remember just saying like, oh, how could they? But it's more than that. It's not always based on sex. It's not about that. But yeah, I am in that industry as well. I had an Etsy store that I had, but my friends robbed me. I make a lot of holistic medicines. I was getting a lot of stuff off my reservation that was certified, and I had a little Etsy store, but that closed that after I got robbed.
okay, so you just recently started live streaming, right? Or is it just on this app? Because I've been
I'm on a few.
streaming, but I've been live streaming on other apps. Like on the other app, I was like on there for like 8 years. So,
I have live streamed before. Um, it wasn't like a only, it wasn't OnlyFans, but something like that.
it's adult content.
Yeah, and I had to do it because I needed a ticket after I got kidnapped from my son's father. I couldn't. I needed food and I needed safety, and it was once.
Okay. What because the thing is, a lot of the people, they don't even get contracts on these sites, so it's like they're not really doing anything. But then a lot of people take this money and obviously use it on their real life. So it's like, what is your ultimate goal on, streaming and just not just streaming, but collectively putting your
Mm.
things together?
My goal is to have a foundation to show that there are women and there are men like that too that are just in a bad predicament. You always have to have a fucking plan. You have to have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're just living for the moment. I want a foundation. Even when I was a stripper. I forgot to say that I was a stripper, but in the 90s, you couldn't get fully nude. I was stripping in New York. I was with this girl that I was so in love with. We were together and we just made a promise. The promise was we wouldn't do after hours. We go into work. We didn't talk to nobody. And we worked through an agency where if they were short on girls, they would call us. So my thing is, maybe hopefully teaching people that instead of going this way now, because there's so many other things and avenues that you can do now. That's my, teaching, yo, you ain't got to do this like it was back in the day. My thing is now there's so many different things where, like this is, that whole big old shit, like everything, there's so many things that people have at their hands. So yeah, like my focus would be just teaching people you don't have to, do the fucked up route or what people would call the fucked up route.
That's a fact. So streaming, everything goes right. Everything just is on the up. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, what is a typical day of waking up in your day? What's your house look like? What what company do you own? Like where do you see yourself?
Okay. So my goal is to have, I've always had two apartments at the same time. Always. Even first time I had my apartment, I was 15 legally. But my goal, I'm not so much in the bougie shit. You know what I'm saying? Like a nice, decent house, I'm okay with. I don't need this extravagant shit. My thing is making sure my grandbabies and their babies are straight for the future. You know what I'm saying? Because again, things are so hard, and I feel like the Great Depression is going to be here soon. But
But no, what you're saying is, this is what I'm saying. Your heart is in one place.
yeah,
You're still trying to look out for people, and I get it. I'm the same way. That's where I see myself is making sure my people are straight. But we're talking about you.
here we go.
You feel me? Like this is you for you, not like, oh yeah, I just want to make sure that they good. Like not you. Everything goes good for you. You break that generational curse. You break everything.
Okay.
You're
I
you're at your
by
spot.
then, yeah, by then hopefully I would pass the law bar. Um, I definitely will have a small law firm. People think that law firms are super expensive and all that. You can have a law firm with a partner and have like three people working under you, and you guys can all, that's the love of it. I definitely see a small law firm. I am working on two properties, so I definitely, like I said, I would love like my goal is to like be done by like 60. I just want to like, dude, I've just been on a go, 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 like all my life. So my thing is the law bar. I already beat my my rate case in Lawrence. It's just a sit and waiting game now with that. But once the the sodomy case of the police officers are done, I want to travel and I just want to go. I want to go. I don't get the first place I would love to go is Paris. I want to wear lace. I want to walk around naked. I want a cup of fucking tea with my finger up in the goddamn air. I want to open it up looking like I'm Snow White. I deserve that. I want to sleep with my lights off. I don't want to always keep looking over my shoulder and being scared. I'm scary. I'm very fearful and scary. So my goal is just to be that person that you know what I'm saying, that I talk it, but I want to be that.
So who can you thank? Not just hey, but like who can you thank that got you here? You know,
You know what's sad? Honestly, the hate of my mother and my daughter. Their hate is what pushes me. I shit you not. It almost, I feel like my sister and my daughter are always in competition with me. The thing is, who the fuck competes with? You know what I'm saying? But technically, their hate is what drives me. It's sad. Yeah. And I'm not even mad at that because technically, every time I get pissed off, I do something. I always had this thing of proving how good I was, So that's why I became a foster mother. They said I couldn't finish high school. I finished two high schools and residential school. They said that I could never live on my own. I had my first apartment at 15. You know what I'm saying? Certain things I don't have. I've never had my license before in my life. That doesn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? It bothers me now though, because it's that little bit of the rat race that you gotta play. But yeah, hate I think is what drives me because people got this thing where I'm always underestimated. And I think because I'm so scared and all the bad things, people just think like I just ain't got it maybe mentally. So that's my thing of always, I gotta stop that though. But yeah,
what's the best piece of advice you ever heard?
fuck them for my papa, for my straight papa. He's fuck them. But daddy, fuck them, eh?
Yeah, that's what we was about to get into. So who do you want to shout out at this point? Like who do you want to mm, but
You've been humbling. You're like really dope too. Like you're super humbling. You know what's sad? I know so many people, but I don't rock with so many people. So I don't even. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually, no, no. I got somebody I would like to thank. I'm sorry. I have a judge. He doesn't judge me. He is my slave. He is the one that pushes me to school. He's the one he paid for my school books. He is the one that's never judged me. He's like, go get that fucking paper. They need to legalize it. Not every person's bad. Yo, he's dope. I wish I can just, seeing that, he's a judge, you know how people will look at that. But if I can thank him and on video, picture, whatever it is, I always tell him I would. But yeah, it's him and this other lawyer, but they always got me.
Okay. Anybody on the app? Anybody, meet?
Sev, you're dope. I realize you and I are a lot alike. D Ross, I like him too. He's in and out. Like that's me. Dip in soon as shit gets serious, I'm out. Chaotic, I will always fucking respect the girl. That girl holds her own better than most black and fucking brown bitches I know. That bitch right there will always have a seat at my fucking table. It is invited to my reservation powwows if you ever up to it. Um, I am his. I will always thank her just because when I say she's the sweetest girl, she's sweet. I understand why she's hot tamale and why everyone's on the shit. When if I was about 30 years old, I'd be pushing up on that, so I get it. But total respect for her. Who else? Rose is super sweet. Pup is cool. It's just like I said, I've tried to, but y'all, the little handful of people that I did well and see y'all cool. Y'all cool as hell.
That's what's up. I appreciate that. And on that note, we're gonna end it.